Hi, and welcome to Rick's Corner. I just got back from 5 days in Maui, Hawaii. Oh boy, did I have fun. I needed this. I haven't had a vacation in so many years that I owed it to myself, and my girlfriend and I went. We had a wonderful time. The beaches there are phenomenal. The water's like Windex. I used to be able to lay in the sun for hours when I lived in Santa Monica back in the day and get a golden tan. Now I go out for 1 hour and I get burnt to death and I can hardly move. I burnt my foot so bad it swelled up. But nonetheless, I had a great time. So now I'm back and I'm doing more shows, and while I'm gone, I don't know if you guys realize this, but when you go away on somewhere like a vacation, you get really creative ideas on things that you want to do, and I came up with a ton of ideas for this show and for another show I want to produce, and it's endless. So I'm going to start today with some new stuff. I was thinking about reps and weight. What works better, doing more reps or doing heavier weight? You know, it's a toss-up because so many people today are talking about doing, let's do high reps for every workout, lightweight high reps for every workout. And I've actually advocated it on the show as well, because if you have injuries, it's probably going to be pretty good for your joints. But does your muscle really grow? I'm not sure. I mean, I tried this for a while when I got out of the hospital, actually. I went to high reps and went to low weight, ridiculously low weight, like a beginner. And did I get a pump? No. Is a pump necessary? Not really, but it feels good. And I just didn't see a huge difference. I mean, it's like, okay, I worked out, I did the light weights, and I don't know, I wasn't filling out my skin to where it was prior. So while I was gone in Hawaii, I thought about it. I said, I took some pictures on the beach, and I said, please don't post those. I just couldn't even stand it after being sick. So I said, I need to fill my skin up because your muscles shrink, and I lost 30 pounds, but still, I felt like, how you get skinny and fat at the same time? Because you're eating carbs to get energy back from being sick, and then you're drinking a lot of water, but you're losing a lot of water, and your muscles are atrophying, and your skin's hanging this way, and it's like, oh boy, I got to make some changes, even at my age. So I started back at the gym, and I'm not talking about going heavy, but I'm talking about going heavier. So I started increasing my weight this past week, or actually that started on Thursday, I believe, to go heavier than I had before. Now, it was hard for me. My God, the weights that were even maybe 3/4 of what I used to do were like a ton. I could hardly push them because I haven't been doing them. Anything you don't do for a long time goes the other way. If you're a good bench presser and you lay off for 4 months and you do something besides that, the bench press is hard again. It's the same thing with machines. When you're doing machines, you increase your weight. When you go to dumbbells, the dumbbells are heavy because you haven't done them in a long time. But the point is that I started doing 8 to 10 reps, increasing my weight, and within 2 days, I saw a difference in size. I started to fill out. Why? Because the muscles thrive for me on a heavier weight. I've known this for years. I've known this for a long time. When I trained at Gold's in the 70s, I didn't really count reps, but I knew that in my head, subconsciously, I always went to 7. Not 6, not 8, but 7 reps. Why? No idea. My body just said, okay, you've done 7 reps, that's enough. But I grew on 7 reps, and that's what's weird. Now, Vince Gironda advocated 5 sets, I believe 5 sets of 5. That could work too. I don't know if it worked for me, but it worked for him. The other thing, if you want to think about this logically, muscles respond to resistance. We all know this. So the more resistance you give the muscle, the better it's going to respond as far as size. Now, are high reps enough resistance, or is it too much resistance? It depends on the muscle, I believe. If you're doing a chest and a back, then high reps will probably work. It's a big muscle group. If you're doing bicep, no. Dave Draper told me years ago, don't overwork your bicep. It's a small muscle and it will shrink down like a pea. I actually believe that. When you start doing more reps on the bicep, it gets smaller. It just doesn't recover or respond like it does. Now, heavy reps, yes, it worked better. I remember back when I was around 20 years old doing alternate dumbbell curls with 65-pound dumbbells. That's a lot of weight. After I was sick, I was doing 20. Now 20, I see a lot of guys doing, even Rich Pound was doing 20-pound dumbbells. It's still a lot of weight now after being, losing the weight, but I want to increase them back up to at least 45 because I think 45 or 50, which is a good working dumbbell, will put more size back on the bicep and the tricep as well. So I'm thinking that you don't want to go heavy where you're hurting the joints, and like 1 rep for power all the time, but you want to get 8 to 10, mine's 7, my number's 7, to where you're getting 4 or 5 sets with a lower rep and maybe more weight. Because like I said, when I started bodybuilding, it was embedded in my head, Resistance on the muscle makes the muscle grow. It breaks down cells and the cells rebuild. Therefore, you need those rest days in between for the cells to build size and get bigger. Yes, it makes sense to me. So I'm going to do the heavy weight for a while for the next 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see what happens. I'm going to do that till I go into the hospital again because I have to have knee replacement, and then I'll have to probably be off for a few days, just at least the legs. I'll be off for a while, but upper body I'll still do. Just to see what happens. I mean, you guys might want to try this. I know that we've experimented around with the high reps and the low weight and this and that, but I don't think that the low weight and the high reps are good for long periods of time. I think your body adapts to it and the muscle doesn't work. I remember doing lighter weights when I was younger, and I didn't have any effect off it. It was like nothing was happening. So I would try that. You know, if you're having a sticking point, because we all get sticking points, we get plateaus. I've had people come to me, man, my bench press is stuck at 200 pounds. How can I get above that? Take a few days off and then start pyramiding. That's another way it works pretty well. I remember pyramiding way back then. I'd start with maybe 10 reps, 12 reps, 8, 6, 4, 2, and a single, and then back to 10. Now that's quite a few sets, but on bench press it worked. 10 reps, 8 reps, 6 reps, 4, a couple of singles at 400, go back down to maybe 375 or so and get about 6 reps. I always started off at 225, that's 245 on each side. I went to the gym one day and I put 345s on each side of the bar, that's 315 pounds, and it's documented at Steve Davis' gym. I banged out 21 reps with it. That's pretty good. So, never do it again. I would say that you have to experiment with what works for you, but I'd love to hear your comments. Are the high reps working for you? Are you gaining size? Or are you just getting leaner? Or is the heavy weight working better for you? Are you gaining size and good thickness? Because I think you probably will, because the muscle thrives on that. It actually does. And I also had another theory about working forearms. I don't have big forearms and never have, or big calves. I had good calves, but not big calves. Forearms, it's a genetic thing to some people, or you can work them, but I always thought about a mechanic. He's always turning a screwdriver, wrenches, turning screwdrivers and wrenches all day long. And the guys always had big forearms because they're working with tools all day, and that's a really dense muscle, that and a calf. So working forearms is another way, maybe heavy, maybe reps, I'm not sure, but I know that somebody used them all day long and had big forearms from the thing. Anyway, let me hear your comments on that. Try the heavier weights, see if they work for you, lesser reps, and then do all the higher reps with a lesser weight. Tell me what you think works for you. The key to all this, though, is to eat as well. You need the nutrition, you need the protein, you need some carbs for energy, and you need some fats, either fats or carbs. We went through that whole thing before. Everybody works differently. Now, I did the high fats, no carbs with protein, worked really well. That's Geronda's method. Or I did no fats, carbs, and protein, and that worked pretty well. Both of them work pretty good, but you can have the carbs and fats together, which is a whole nother story. Anyway, that's my take on building muscle, and let me know what works for you. Anyway, I'm glad to be back in town. There's nothing like getting back in the gym. You guys know that when you miss the gym, you think, oh my God, I'm losing everything. I was in Hawaii for the 5 or 6 days, and I worked out once at the hotel. They had a great gym. Trust me, it was great. But when you're on vacation and you're sunburnt and the weather is humid and it's hot and you think, the last thing I want to do is work out. I'm not here for that. I just want to lay out on the beach and sleep. Anyway, thanks for watching Rick's Corner. I got more coming up. You guys have been awesome fans. And remember, you can buy my autographed logo made to you. And now is the time to start ordering because December's coming up. It's a great Christmas gift, and you have to order in time for me to draw these and get them out because it takes 7 to 10 days. But if you want to give somebody a piece of bodybuilding history, that's a bodybuilder, or maybe not even, of the Gold's Gym logo with my signature, now's the time to get it. It's going to be something good that you can give away and they can frame and put it on the wall. And I got another 40 years to live, I hope. But even at that, it will be a collector's item. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Rick's Corner.
That's rickdrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.